Hi there. Here's a puzzle that I have absolutely no information on. It came in shrink wrap without a box and without instructions. Why, I have no clue. But this is a string puzzle. It also is a bead puzzle, a wooden puzzle, and a ring puzzle. So let's see what we can find out about this. The first thing you might notice is that it has a bunch of slack in it. I at first didn't know what that was for. And of course you see the ring. For people who are used to these kind of puzzles, you might think the goal is to get the ring from the left side all the way to the right side, like right here. And because it has 3 towers, 3 holes, and this kind of winding in here in the string. But that is not so, because the ring has 2 bits of rope going through it. Also, these 2 beads. So what I think the solution is, or the solved state of it, is with the ring gone off the puzzle, and you have the 2 beads next to each other in one piece of string, or in one section of string. Now from here on out, let's see what it looks like on the front and back. So that's what it looks like. It's a little bit crudely made. Quality is not that good, but it's the only kind of puzzle that solves in this way that I own or know about. Alright, here is the solution. First thing you might notice is that you need to get this loop somehow to pass through this bit and this bit. So somehow bring it up through there. You cannot simply go over like that and bring it underneath, because you end up with exactly the same state. And that got me a bit confused for some time. But here's the one thing that I got or noticed when I first started to actually solve this. I thought I should just ignore these 2 bits here, but actually that's the key part to solving it. The way the rope is sealed. So at the end of the rope is actually a knot, and in the hole that threaded through, there's actually room for 2 more cords to go through. I thought that was pretty much what caused me to get the light bulb moment. So here is the way you do it. First, you want to get the extra loop. Remove as much slack as you can, because you're going to need it later. So take it all. Or actually leave a little bit slack so that this rope can come out. So let's do that. There we go. And for the rest of it, we're just going to keep the string. And here's the crucial part. You want to get the string, hold it like so, and be sure to not twist it as you're threading it through here. Feed that through, out like that. Don't twist it, just turn it like that. And follow along where the original knot was. I believe it goes this way, under here. Like that, and you'll notice this bit goes around, so we're going to follow that too. And it also goes through the hole and down there, so we're going to have to follow this through, and without twisting the rope. Like that. Now we still know which way to go. We're not going to go from behind, we're going to go from the front. At least that's the way I've been following the rope. And we can stick this entire loop through the hole, out with the knot, and you can see it sticks out a bit like that. Now they might not have given enough rope, so you might have to stretch it a little bit, or pull it, and pass it through, pass the knotted end through. Then you can pull the loop back upwards again. And once you do that, you have to remove the loop from its windings. So like that. Oops, looks like I've got something tangled. Okay, pull that through. Pull that through. And pull this through. So now what we have is virtually the same thing. Only difference is, instead of this being, this bit being underneath here, it's now above. Isn't that interesting? And you want to do the same for the left side, so this passes through this, and you end up with this being able to pull through. So we're going to have to repeat again. You want to remove any slack so that you have as long a loop as possible, but the left side should have some slack this time. So you want to take a little bit of the loop and get this bit out. And once again, you want to pass this bit through here. So you want to trace that bit of rope all the way to its end. So through this hole, around, underneath, back through the hole, and past this bead. So let's see, make sure we don't get the orientation wrong. We're going to feed that in through here. Pull that through. I'm gonna pass this underneath, again without twisting, like that. Bring it around like so. Without twisting, we're just bend it around. Feed it through the hole. And I believe this passes through like that. So let's go ahead and do so. There was one occasion when I twisted it accidentally, or fed it in through the wrong way. See again, you pull it out through, get it around the knotted end, and pull this up out of the hole again. So now it's behind this bit here. Then you can unwind or remove the loop. And once again, you have something similar, except that this bit of string is now above this bridging part here. And with both of them out like this, you can actually bring this to the back, and you can pull this loop out, releasing the ring. Isn't that cool? Now, I did mention the next part was to get these two beads together. So right now it's still kind of hard. You can't get them through the hole, of course, in the tower. So we're going to have to do more steps. Now the first thing is that this is no longer going to be the loop that we're working with. We're going to pull this loop. See, as you can see, this was the loop. Now we're going to pull this bit over here and transfer the loop over there. Now the first thing we can do is to do the step again where we follow along. We're going to want to get this left end of the loop to go up through the bridging area. So we're going to get this to go through there by again threading through the tower. Like that, bringing it around like so, and threading this across underneath. Always making sure you don't twist it. Then pull this through, and now we know it's going to go in like that. So I hope there's enough give for that. Okay. We're going to pass the loop in through the front of the puzzle. And notice how, again, the loop is going in front of the knot. We're going to pass the knot through like that, and then pull the loop back behind the knot. Then we're going to undo all this threading. And let's see, did I make a mistake? I believe I have. Oh, no, okay. We're fine. So what we have here again is similar, except the left end is now above this bridging area. Okay, so now that we are at this stage, what we have is we need to get the right loop and pass it through this string here, which shouldn't be too difficult, though I've already made an error, hence the jump cut. I'm going to feed it in like here, behind the knot, or behind the bead, like this. And make sure the bead is not in the way as well, of course. Okay, with that out, we're going to pass the loop to the front. Like that. And pull it up once again. Okay, as you can see, this right loop is now in front of this part. So you can bring both loops behind, or both sides of the loop behind, and pull it through the hole. So now you have this incredibly long loop here. Now you can see that the bead is free and it can travel along, but we need to fix the left end as well. So let's transfer the loop again. And we don't need an exceptionally long bit, so we're just going to get this, pass it behind, through the hole, underneath, and then up again. So we're just going to try that. We're going to insert it behind, like this, avoiding twisting this thing. And I might have to pull it from the bottom. You notice the loop is there. You're gonna push the loop, or the knotted end, through, pull the loop back up, and now the left bit is above this one. We need to pass this through here now, so that will take a bit of careful work. We're going to pass this again through that hole behind it. So we're going to pass that in there. And with that final step done, and some untangling, of course, we can pull this through as well, and you have this entire looped string. Finally, the moment we've all been waiting for is bringing the two beads together. And there they are. There's the ring, there's the string, the beads, and the towers. Of course, now it's time to bring it all back together again. Redo the knots and put the string back. We'll do it right after the cut. Alright, with less commentary, I'm just going to put everything back to its original state and let the next person try to solve it. Okay, so this came in through here. Like that. And it goes over like so. And there we go. This is the original position before you need to solve it again. This has been the unknown puzzle, and if you do have any information about it, please let me know so that I can look it up and confirm whether or not this is the correct solution. Thanks for watching.